in regard to the evolution of an acceptable political solution. And I think I can best do it by referring to some of the statements that were made in the course of this long process, which will throw much light on this whole question. And it must be remembered that both India and the rest of the international community played a role for the simple reason that we were not able to solve this problem ourselves. I will particularly deal with the period commencing 2006, when President Rajapaksa resumed office. In November 2006, Foreign Secretary Shiv Shankar Menon arrived in Sri Lanka and met with President Rajapaksa. He told the Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa that India looked forward to an early comprehensive political settlement of the ethnic issue. It must take into account the aspirations of all sections, including Tamils, he said. At his meeting with Menon, Mr. Rajapaksa gave details of the work being done by the All Parties Conference and the multi-ethnic group of experts to provide a framework for the resolution of the ethnic problem. So President Mahinda Rajapaksa gave Mr. Menon a report in regard to the work of the APRC and the multi-ethnic committee of experts. Then again, say in October 2008, Minister Basil Rajapaksa went across to India, consequent to some issues being raised pertaining to the war. And this is what the statement issued on that occasion says. Both sides discussed the need to move towards a peacefully negotiated political settlement in the island, including the north. Both sides agreed that terrorism should be countered with resolve. Indian side called for implementation of the 13th Amendment and greater devolution of power to the provinces. Mr. Basil Rajapaksa emphasized that the President of Sri Lanka and his government were firmly committed to a political process that would lead to a sustainable solution. That was the position in November 2008. And so, in July 2009, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh met with President Mahinda Rajapaksa at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt in the course of a conference. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh told the Rajya Sabha that the bulk of the meeting was focused on the plight of the Sri Lankan Tamils. We are deeply concerned. I explained to him, Rajapaksa, that we have legitimate concern about the welfare of Sri Lankan Tamils. It has a bearing on Sri Lanka's relations with India. He also informed, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also informed Rajapaksa that Colombo has to create conditions for meeting legitimate political aspirations of the Tamils under a devolution package. That was in July 2009. Then we had the occasion when our Foreign Minister, Professor G.L. Peiris, went to India. And that was in May 2009. He visited India from 15th to 17th of May 2009. And at the press release issued on the occasion, it stated, both sides agreed that the end of the armed conflict in Sri Lanka created a historic opportunity to address all outstanding issues in a spirit of understanding and mutual accommodation, imbued with political vision, to work towards genuine reconciliation. In this context, the External Affairs Minister of Sri Lanka affirmed his government's commitment to ensuring expeditious and concrete progress in the ongoing dialogue between the government of Sri Lanka and representatives of Tamil parties. A devolution package building upon the 13th Amendment would contribute towards creating the necessary conditions for such reconciliation. That was your own statement made on the occasion of your visit to India. Then in June 2011, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had this to say in the course of a question and answer session. He was asked a question about India's neighborhood. His answer was, you have a situation in Sri Lanka. The decimation of the LTTE was something which is good. But the Tamil problem does not disappear with the defeat of the LTTE. The Tamil population has legitimate grievances. They feel they are reduced to second-class citizens. And our emphasis has been to persuade the Sri Lankan government that we must move towards a new system of institutional reforms, where the Tamil people will have a feeling that they are equal citizens in Sri Lanka and they can lead a life of dignity and self-respect. It is not easy. Within Sri Lanka's population, there are hotheads. The singular chauvinism is a reality. But we have to find a difficult balance, because what happens in Sri Lanka has a domestic dimension also. The Tamil Nadu government and assembly have often shown great worry about what is happening. Our challenge is to keep the Tamil Nadu government on our side. I have had good cooperation with Jayalalitha ji. I raised this matter with her the very first time. What she asked me was very moderate. Whatever be the resolutions that were adopted in the Assembly, I found her fully conscious of the complexities and the realities of managing this relationship. There you are. So, India is concerned. Foreign Minister S.M. Krishna made a suo motu statement in the Lok Sabha on the 4th of August 2011. And what he had to say, government has also articulated its position that the end of the armed conflict in Sri Lanka created a historic opportunity to address all outstanding issues relating to minority communities in Sri Lanka, including Tamils. The joint press release of May 17, 2011 states that all such outstanding issues are to be settled in a spirit of understanding and mutual accommodation, imbued with political vision to work towards genuine national reconciliation. External Affairs Minister of Sri Lanka affirmed his government's commitment to ensuring expeditious and concrete progress in the ongoing dialogue between the government of Sri Lanka and the representatives of Tamil parties, and that a devolution package building upon the 13th Amendment would contribute towards creating the necessary conditions for such reconciliation. The Prime Minister observed recently that the Tamil population in Sri Lanka had legitimate grievances, and our emphasis has been to persuade the Sri Lankan government that we must move towards a new system of institutional reforms, where the Tamil people will have a feeling that they are equal citizens of Sri Lanka and they can lead a life of dignity and self-respect. That is our outlook towards this issue. So, you see, when the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission issued their report, an official spokesman made a statement in regard to that report. And this is what he said in that statement that was made on December 25, 2011. In this context, we have been assured by the government of Sri Lanka on several occasions in the past of its commitment towards pursuit of a political process through a broader dialogue with all parties, including the Tamil National Alliance, leading to the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution, and to go beyond so as to achieve meaningful devolution of powers and genuine national reconciliation. We hope that the government of Sri Lanka, recognizing the critical importance of this issue, acts decisively and with vision in this regard. We will remain engaged with them through this process and offer our support in the spirit of partnership. We have also noted the government of Sri Lanka's intention to set up a mechanism to carry out further investigations relating to instances of alleged human rights violations and incidents, including loss of civilian life. It is important to ensure that an independent and credible mechanism is put in place to investigate allegations of human rights violations as brought out by the LLRC in a time-bound manner. Recently, the Foreign Minister of India was here, and he made a statement. There was a joint statement or a statement made by the Foreign Minister in the presence of the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka. In the course of which statement, this was made, the Prime Minister was here, the Foreign Minister was here from 16th to 19th January 2012, and this was what was contained in the statement. India is committed to the unity, sovereignty and territorial integrity of Sri Lanka. It's our hope that the vision and leadership that resulted in an end to armed conflict will now be employed in the quest for a genuine political reconciliation. We look forward to progress in the ongoing dialogue process in order to address this issue in a timely manner. We will continue to work with the government of Sri Lanka and help in whatever way we can to take the process forward in a spirit of partnership and cooperation. We have noted the many constructive recommendations contained in the recently released report of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission LLRC. These recommendations, when implemented, would mark a major step forward in the process of genuine national reconciliation to which the Sri Lankan government is committed. Sri Lanka must seize the opportunity. The government of Sri Lanka has on many occasions conveyed towards its commitment to move towards a political settlement based upon the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution and building on it so as to achieve meaningful devolution of powers. We look forward to an expeditious and constructive approach to the dialogue process. We believe the continuation of the dialogue between the government and the TNA would pave the way for a political settlement, including under the rubric of the Parliamentary Select Committee. I discussed this matter with His Excellency the President this morning. The President assured me that he stands by his commitment to pursuing the 13th Amendment Plus approach. So this is what the Indian government has always been saying, even when the matter came up in Geneva, and India had to make a decision in regard to what it would do at Geneva.